Welcome to Myopian Gaming. I know everybody is probably busy playing Zelda 2 Tears of the Wild, but I appreciate you checking out my video anyway. So we're going to do a quick rundown of what I found interesting at the Sony PlayStation Showcase. It'll be a semi-reaction video because I have yet to really see any of these trailers. I just know what I've read from websites and such and Twitter. And I am aware that it's hella late, but it's all good because ain't nobody watching anyway, baby! So let's get into it. So to kick the show off, Sony did decide to start the show with some generic live service shooter nonsense. This is brought to us by someone who is a lead producer for Assassin's Creed, but nobody cares. I'm assuming this is all a part of Sony's new direction focusing on live service garbage, and or they may be trying to throw every shooter at the wall just to see what sticks, just in case Xbox's deal with Activision does go through. And it looks like that's moving along quite swiftly, so we shall see. Anywho, let's get cracking on this here PlayStation Showcase. First up, we got Phantom Blade Zero. This game looks slick and looks to me like a Souls-like action game with the dark aesthetics of a From Software game with some Ghost of Tsushima thrown in there for good measure. The PlayStation blog gives a brief breakdown which says, you play as Soul, an elite assassin serving an elusive but powerful organization known simply as the Order. Soul is framed for the murder of the Order's patriarch, gravely injured in the ensuing manhunt. Though his life is saved by a mystic healer, the makeshift cure will only last for 66 days. Now he must fight against powerful foes and inhuman monstrosities, all while seeking out the mastermind behind it all before his time runs out. If that doesn't wet your whistle, I don't know what will. Next we have the Metal Gear Solid 3 remake, which is apparently called Metal Gear Solid Triangle. This is only a teaser and it seemed to be more focused on the animal life and Snake's super tight headband, but I'm sure that if it isn't updated for modern audiences, this will be a fine product for consumers to consume.
Don't ask questions, just consume product and then get excited for next product.
Snake Eater was arguably the best in the series, and it would be amazing to see it in 4K with updated visuals. And it looks as though we will be getting MGS 1 through 3 ported to the PS5, along with the remake. How about 4, Konami? Let's get some Guns of the Patriots up in this MFer, man. But this is marked Volume 1, so there is a real possibility that we will see 4 and possibly even the PSP Metal Gears HDLized for us in the near future. Next we have Alan Wake 2, and it'll probably be pretty sick, but it looks like it's going to be download only. That's a freaking bummer for my fellow collectors. But Remedy is saying that this will keep the price down, but I'd still rather have the physical for a game that I like. And it looks like it has the original model for Max Payne playing a role in the game. I could be totally wrong, but ask me if I care. Assassin's Creed Mirage looks like it could be alright, but I think that franchise could never really return to its former glory, as most of that DNA at Ubisoft is likely gone and moved on to bigger and more terrible things. But it's a bit intriguing nonetheless that they finally realized AC fans wanted more of the original formula. Just remake 2, Ubisoft. We'll buy it.
We buy it!
Dragon's Dogma 2 looks to be a proper sequel to the immensely popular first installment. Capcom really seems to be hitting their stride as of late, and will be trying to parlay that momentum into PSVR with a VR mode for Resident Evil 4 Remake. It's an amazing game, and a 3D first-person mode would be a great reason to pick it up if you already have a VR headset. And continuing with PSVR, Arizona Sunshine 2 may be a pretty decent shooter for Sony's headset. I've played through the original on PC with an HTC Vive Pro a number of times, and it definitely is one of the better shooters for VR. PSVR in general has a lot of potential with the foveated lenses and improved controllers, but VR will always have trouble breaking into the mainstream, mainly because of the price and people mad fucking lazy. It's a luxury, and I don't see a lot of people wanting to take that plus $500 plunge. But if you are into rhythm games, even in the slightest iota, Beat Saber is as dope as it gets. And it's also coming to PSVR 2. Bungie is reviving a game from back in the Apple Macintosh days, way back even before Halo, and that title is Marathon. A first-person shooter, now an extraction shooter, and will likely be another live service game. I guess this is what Sony bought Bungie for, so they're just gonna do their job. But come on Sony, make Bungie make a fully realized campaign in this setting. It would undoubtedly be amazing, but the aesthetics to Marathon will be something else if the short developer doc is anything to go by. They are targeting a realistic, familiar look with bold, bright colors while simultaneously looking extremely alien to our senses. And finally, we have the big closer of the show from Insomniac, and that is the long-awaited Wolverine. Psych! That would have made the show, but we got more Spidey. Which is not a bad thing, but we really should have gotten to see some Logan action in this show. That would have blown minds. The Spider-Man 2 trailer was pretty dope, but it's giving off that pro-tag goes too far and his buddy has to stop him because of morals vibe. The trailer was primarily of a mission that was very tight, cinematic, and focused with changing set pieces rather than showing us the open world. And I hope Spider-Man 2 is more of that with big, epic missions spanning large portions of the city. It was definitely a sight to behold, but possibly a little underwhelming for those expecting a bigger jump in visuals. But that puts a wrap on the PS Showcase, but I got a few bits of news post-show. We have the return of a pretty dope franchise in Alone in the Dark, which was one of the OG 3D horror games back in the day on PC. And you might even say that this is where Resident Evil got a lot of its influence from. Or just ripped it the F off, with the set cameras and terrible tank controls, and polygonal characters on a pre-rendered static background. But it's cool to see the return, and it looks like it'll be borrowing a little back from Resident Evil with a third-person over-the-shoulder camera. There was a reboot back in 2008 which I thought was pretty damn decent, even though the protagonist looked like Val Kilmer went cat lady. It was likely a financial clunker. There is a demo prologue out now called Grace in the Dark, and the full game will be dropping October 25th of 2023. So according to the world-renowned journalist and professional leak Jason Schreier, Naughty Dog has significantly scaled down the team on its Last of Us multiplayer project, sources say, as it reassesses the game. Following Bloomberg's request for comment, the company put out a Twitter statement today saying the game was delayed. I'm assuming this is talking about Last of Us 2's multiplayer game called Factions that they've supposedly been working on. But from what I've been reading, Sony could be stepping in and trying to turn this into some kind of live service disaster, which is not too far-fetched. And breaking news! Information on Mortal Kombat 1's Collector's Edition is out now. It will be coming with the Premium Edition, an exclusive steelbook, and a statue, and some art prints. All by Course, whoever the hell that is. And NetherRealm will also be conducting server tests, so sign up if you want to play it early. It looks like all these games on the screen here from the showcase will also be coming to Xbox. So that kind of kills some of the steam the show had. But overall as a show, it was still pretty decent. But as far as a roadmap for the future of PlayStation, not so much. Anyway, that's all the shit I got for you. Hit me up on Twitter and check out some of my game playthroughs on the channel and let me know if there's anything you'd like to see or any suggestions you might have. I'll throw them in my suggestion box. Thank you so goddamn much and peace out.